I wonder what happens after we die. I know it's kind of a bold subject, I guess, or just not a very happy one at the very least. But I don't know. I've been thinking about it lately. I was thinking about it a lot this morning before I went to bed for whatever reason, probably related to my mom's dog passing recently. But I've just been wondering. I wonder. I mean, yeah, like I said, I've just been wondering what happens when we die. You know, I don't think it's really something anybody can get an answer to. I don't think we'll ever have that. I think the only time you're going to get that answer is when you're there, Whenever you die, then you finally figure out, like, oh, so this is it then, type thing. But until then, I don't think science can figure it out. I don't think I guess maybe, but I don't really think there's any sort of technology that can tell us, what happens. I guess. I mean, really, honestly, because you die, your brain just shuts off, stops working, your body shuts down, etc. It's just over, right? Or at least probably. I guess that's kind of what the whole point of me wondering has been is wondering what happens. Where do we go? Is it really just over when it's done? Does life really just end like it was never there? You know? Is it just blank? The final the final moments I always used, well, not really used to, but still, I suppose to this day you hear about, like, you see your final moment, or not your final moments, but what is the way I'm trying to say here? You see your life flash before your eyes, right? You see, like, everything that you've done, or all the important moments or whatever, all in an instant before you go. Or maybe it's just your best moments or whatever, the chemical that gets released into your brain when you die sends you through probably what feels like the craziest drug trip of your life, seeing as how it's the end of your life. At least I think that's the science behind it. As far as my understanding of it goes, that's the science behind it. It's probably not very accurate, but I'm no scientist, so I couldn't really tell you the truth behind it. But that's my understanding. But then I don't really care about the science behind it because, that doesn't really matter to me. If I'm dead, then what does it matter what science has to say? If science says that my body shut down and I'm dead, then that's fine, whatever. But what about my conscious? I mean, I know to an extent, or I guess just as a whole, your brain is linked to your conscious, right? Like you can't really exist as a person without a brain. It's kind of like how you're here, right? But anyways, I wonder because I remember when I was growing up, there was this book, and I wish I could remember the name of it or anything other than just that it was a book, but that's okay. It was a book about this little kid. I don't know how old he was, probably like 8 or something. And he died, right? He died in the hospital. He died for like 5 minutes or something. And he said that when he died, he went to heaven and he saw his grandma or something like that. And he came back to life because they saved him in the hospital, whatever, brought him back to life. And he remembered this story of seeing what heaven was like. And I'd like to believe that. I'd like to believe that that little kid did go and see heaven, right? I'd like to believe that there even is a heaven because, well, as I was saying earlier, I don't really want to think that it's over when it's over. I don't like that idea that once you die, it's just done. It's just blank. is you're just in an eternal nothing forever. Which, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're dead. It doesn't matter if there's something there or not because you're dead. You're not able to experience it. But that's so boring. Like, why would life just have to end like that so suddenly? Why is there no part two? Or I guess if we're, since I've been a video gamer all my life, why isn't there like a new game plus, why would it just end? That just doesn't feel good enough. Doesn't feel, yeah, yeah. I mean, simple as that. It just doesn't feel good enough. I don't know why I broke all this dirt just to come and fill it back in, but it's fine. Whatever. So I guess I kind of like to chew around the idea of what really, what is death? What happens after death? Where do we go? Do we go anywhere? Like I said, I'd like to think so. I'd like to I'd like to imagine that there's more than just oblivion. I'd like to imagine that there's some sort of ending to it all. If in a sense, I guess technically it is an ending, right? Death is an ending, whatever. But as I keep harping on about is I want there to be more than just the end, you know? Don't let don't let the credits roll quite yet type of thing. Like let me hold on for a bit longer, but I guess I just wonder is I, I I suppose it's still the same wondering, but it's different for everybody, right? And I mean, I can't say how many other people just spend their time wondering about death or what happens after death. It doesn't seem like a very normal thing to think about, but I'm pretty far from normal, so it doesn't really surprise me that this is just another one of those things that chewing around in my brain. But, well, everybody thinks differently about death, right? Everybody handles death differently and grief and all that stuff. But even further than that, different religions believe different things about death. I'm sure different parts of the world and different parts of religions, when you really the only religion I know somewhat anything about is Christianity, seeing as how I grew up a Christian. So I can't really speak for other religions, but I know that this whole heaven and hell belief system, where, as far as my understanding, well, I guess it was more what my grandma tried to tell me is, good people go to heaven, bad people go to hell. You sin, you go to hell. You do good, you praise the Lord, you know, whatever. Not whatever, but whatever. You go to heaven, right? And that's a good idea or a good concept, I suppose. I like to believe that there's a heaven. I guess that's my hope, right? I hope that everybody I love, all my loved ones, that's not the way I wanted to word this. I hope that when I die, that I can go to this idea that I've created from my childhood and just from my life in general. This idea of heaven, this idea that there's some wonderful place up in the clouds where all of my loved ones and friends and family and anybody else that's been a part of my life that's come and gone is all just sitting up there waiting for me, watching down, keeping an eye on me, taking care of me, whatever, or you want to think about it as or call it. I'd like to hope that that's the truth. I'd like to hope that that's the reality, is that there is some sort of heaven, and I guess the existence of a heaven kind of implies that there has to be an existence of hell. And I suppose that's probably pretty necessary because there's been some pretty horrible people just in the world. And but that just kind of raises more questions to me. You know what? I don't even want it. I don't even want it. I don't even want it. I came here for dirt. That raises more questions to me because I am by no means the perfect Christian man. I never have been. Never even anything close. And it's only gotten worse as I got older. I am a sinner and I am going to sin again. Probably later today, to be honest. So I am not by any means like a prime candidate to get put into heaven. But at the same time, the most Christian person I ever knew, my grandma, who I love to death, well, yeah, we'll leave it at that. I loved my grandma. Well, I still love my grandma, even though she's passed on now. And I'd like to think that she's in heaven, but at the same time, as much as she was a good Christian woman, she was also an abusive parent who beat my mom all the time when they were growing up. Like, like a lot. And like badly. Like there my mom loves to tell me this story of when my grandma found her either I think it was like a pack of cigarettes or it was like a bottle of alcohol or something that she was hiding in her room when she was in high school at the time. I guess I should have prefaced by saying that she was in high school at the time. So she's underage, whatever. She's probably 14 or something. I go, yeah, whatever. Doesn't really matter that bad. But anyways, my grandma beat her with a cast iron pan because of this. And when she got caught smoking, my grandma made her chain smoke an entire pack of cigarettes in one sitting. Um, let's see, what else? There was a time that my grandma smashed a mirror over my mom's head, like a glass mirror. Yeah, yeah. So I loved my grandma. Don't get me wrong. Don't mistake me here for pointing out her flaws or her issues, I guess. Or, well, abuse wasn't really a. I can't really call that a flaw or an issue because it's something that she actively chose to do. That was her response to just anything she didn't like, really. And she didn't ever, like, lay her hands on me or my brother. I can't really speak for my oldest brother, but me and my closer brother, as far as that I can remember, she never did anything abusive to us. She never beat us or anything of the sort. Um, but it doesn't really change the fact of what she did do when she was raising my mom. And granted, it's not like we knew about that until we were much older. You know, I didn't really learn about this until probably last year or so. But my point is that as much as I love my grandma and she was a good Christian woman, she was not. She was not. She was very, at times, not a good person, just in general. And so I'd like to believe in heaven, and I'd like to believe that my grandma somehow ended up there, but the reality of it is just questionable, I guess. I guess maybe that's what it is it's just questionable. Is what I don't know, you know, is there some sort of rule system, some sort of guidelines to follow to say like, hey, if you want to get into heaven, do this, like this is how, or something. I doubt it. That'd be kind of silly, I feel like, if there was a guideline for this. Is brutal, dude. This is so sad. Like, just wow. Anyways, so I don't know. I guess my belief boils down to hopefully there is a heaven, and if there's a hell alongside it, hopefully it's reserved for the really bad people. You know, the ones, the really bad people, you know, the ones you learn about in history class because they terrorized the world. And or I guess even then, there's some people that weren't extremely bad. Like when you're comparing bad people, it's a pretty weird thing to do for one, because any sort of bad person is a bad person. You know, there's no justification. If you're a murderer, you're a murderer. Granted, that's a bad example, because just because you're a murderer doesn't mean you're like a murderer. Okay, just walk with me for a second here, right? Because you have people like, who's a good famous serial killer? I don't even know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter that bad. But anyways, you take like a famous serial killer, right? And you compare them to somebody who killed a home intruder because they were breaking in and trying to steal their stuff. I know, like, they're both murderers, right? But one of them is a calculated psychopath, or I guess it still boils down to a lot more specifics than that, right? But anyways, just to make my point simple, one person was simply trying to protect their things and their home and their self. One person was, well, trying to murder people because that's what they enjoyed, or whatever their reasoning was, is very different. Both murderers, but not the same evil, right? It's just, there's a lot of thin lines, I suppose. And I mean, there's some people in the world that, like, are you dancing? Oh, you're climbing. Oh, I thought I was gonna die. I thought it was over. Oh, it's totally over. I lied. I don't know how to get out of here. I don't remember. I gotta make a better, like, elevator waterfall thing. So, anyways, what I was saying, there's some people in the world who just, it's no question. It's no question. Like the serial killers that you learn about if you take those kind of classes or watch those kind of documentaries and stuff. Like, again, I'm not very good with names, so I can't really think of any good examples off the top of my head. Um, but it's like you hear about them and you just know. You're just like, oh yeah, no, that person is definitely in hell if there is one. And it's one of those moments that it's like, it feels kind of cruel to say, but it's like, I kind of hope there is a hell for those people because of how terrible they were. You know, like Hitler, you know, horrible, horrible, horrible person, just an evil man all around. I think that's a pretty widely agreed upon. Like, I don't think that's a very controversial statement by any means. And if it is, then you really should not be here watching my videos, because what the fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, very bad person, right? And so when you think about somebody like that, you have to hope, like, for one, obviously, there's no way that person made it into heaven, because just no, you know, it just, there's no chance, right? And so then it comes down to, well, maybe they're just in a permanent nothing. Maybe they're in a permanent oblivion. Maybe instead of being forced to eternal damnation in hell, a life of suffering, maybe it's just blank for you. Maybe if you are a good person or a good enough person, you go to this idea, whatever your idea of heaven might be, because that's another thing. I'm sure my idea of heaven is very different from everyone else's or anyone else's, you know, because there's been, what, probably billions of people that have died on this planet, in this society in general. There's no way that if I go to heaven at the end of my life, I'm going to be searching through a crowd of a billion people or more, trying to find my family, trying to find my loved ones. I mean, it's full of faces I've never seen before. How could I even begin to imagine? You know, maybe it's just a copy of the earth. Maybe when we die and we go to heaven, it's just the exact same. You wake up like nothing happened, but everything is different and you just know it, you know? Or maybe it is this mystical place up in the clouds full of angels and all your family have wings and halos and the stuff that you see in cartoons, and or maybe it's not. Maybe, like I said before, it's just empty. Maybe there's nothing there. That's that's honestly the worst option. If I had a choice, that's the last choice I'm taking. Yeah, I want there to be something at the end of the road. There's got to be some reason that I've been doing anything for so long, that I've been living in general for so long. Did my dolphin escape while I was gone? Or is he hiding somewhere? I think he's gone. I think he left. That's okay. He probably despawned, to be honest. Or he jumped out and fell in this hole and suffocated. Or, no, I don't really have any other ores. I don't know what happened to him. He's probably gone, though. Are you serious? I just went to collect dirt to fill the last hole. And now my fence is broken. Dude. Dude. The disrespect is crazy. Alright. I'm just trying to live my life and build a nice home. Man, really? Really? Alright, well, I'm gonna break this because it's ugly. Now, it's even uglier because of that stupid creeper. Go away. Don't even come over here. Don't even... Yeah, that's right. Just ridiculous. Anyway. I hope death is not the end. I hope there's more to it. I don't know what in specific. I know I feel like I've been talking about heaven a lot. And to some capacity, I guess, really, to some capacity, just in general, I do hope there is a heaven. I hope all of the people I love are up there watching down on me, taking care of me, or just looking out for me in some capacity, in some degree. And I I would like to join them someday in the future when I pass on. I'd like to be I'd like to be in heaven if I find, or if I turn out to be worthy enough, or whatever you want to call it. Will I be? I'm not sure. But at the same time, part of me hopes that it's different. You know, I mentioned this earlier, way earlier, that every religion has very different beliefs. At least I think my understanding of what my very limited knowledge of religions and religion in general is that there's a lot of different beliefs behind death. I mean, that's just in general. That not even necessarily boiled down to a religion, but I I've always been fascinated with the idea of reincarnation, right? I love the idea behind heaven. I would love that there is a heaven. I would love to go to heaven. So, if it exists, I should say, if it exists, I'd love to go there. It would be awesome. It would be, I would hope, I mean, it's supposed to be perfect, right? It's supposed to be like as good as it gets, I think. Uh, my understanding, at least. So I'd love to go there. I'd love to be. Oh, that does look way better, I feel like. I'd love to go there. But, like I was saying before, is I kind of hope that when you die, it's not all over. And in some instances, just because you're in heaven doesn't necessarily mean it's over, right? If, like, if you're in heaven, that's obviously some sort of continuation to your life, right? Because you'd have to know that you're in heaven, you have to be alive in some capacity, or at least aware that you're there in some capacity, right? So it's not truly technically over. You keep going through heaven and you just live out, I guess forever in heaven. You just live the rest of your life in heaven, and all your problems are worry free, and all your people are with you, and everyone you've lost is reunited or returned. But and I mean, that sounds great. That does. That would be all. I'd love to see all my lost family members and friends and everybody else along the road that couldn't make it to this day, or in the future when I die. I'm still young, so I'm sure there will be a lot more death in my life yet to come. But, well, sometimes the idea of spending the rest of my eternity somewhere, as much as it sounds nice, there's so much world to live, or life to live on the world, in the world. I don't know how to word this right, but I think it makes sense. Enough sense, or I'll make it make sense, I guess. For instance, I would love to be able to just do stuff. Just, I know, very broad, very, very vague, I know, but like, I don't really have anything more specific than that. I'd love to be an artist. I'd love to learn to paint. I'd love to learn to draw better. I'd love to learn how to play instruments and write books or read. I know how to read sometimes. I'd love to like write poetry, or like I said, learn how to paint, or you know, stuff. Just stuff in general. There's a lot of stuff to do in the world, right? And I just, I don't think that there's enough time to do it all. And I suppose that is very dependent on person to person and how you choose to use your time. You know, I like to waste my time a lot. I'm a huge time waster. And I mean, that's my own fault, right? It's no one, I can't blame anybody else for me wasting my own time. It's my choice to do so. I do a lot. I could learn how to I almost just said learn how to read poetry again, but no, I could learn how to write a book, or I guess you don't really learn, it's just writing, but I could learn how to, uh, you know, paint. So I'm losing my words here, but I could learn how to paint. I could learn how to write poetry. I could get better at art. I could get better at drawing if I would just take the time to do it. If I would just sit down and dedicate myself to doing it. But I choose not to, because I have other responsibilities in my life that take away so much of my energy and so much of my time, that those moments where I could be learning how to paint or learning how to draw better or learning an instrument or something, I'd much rather spend filling my time with distractions or whatever else, you know? And I suppose that really boils down to just the problems of me and my brain, because I am more of a fully dedicate myself to whatever I'm doing. Like, if I'm gonna learn how to paint, then I would like to have a room where that's literally all I do all day long, and I can just spend 8 hours a day sitting there painting, painting after painting, picture after picture after picture after picture until it's perfect or good enough for me at the least. And that's not realistic because I don't have that kind of money or space or free time to do something like that. It's just not a possibility, you know? And so again, like I said, it's more so just the problems of me and my brain because even baby steps are better than nothing. Even if I would pick up a pencil and doodle in one of my many, many notebooks that I have lying around my house in my room, I would at least be doing something. I'd at least be trying and learning and improving slightly, if at all, better than nothing, right? But I won't, or I don't. Maybe I will in the future. Maybe one day I'll just have free time where I can just do whatever I'd like, whenever I'd like, and I can just live all of the lives I've ever imagined. But anyway, the whole reason I brought this up, and the whole reason I started talking about this is because I feel like there's so much life to be lived without enough time to live it, right? And then, so part of me hopes that there's some sort of reincarnation after it's all over, and that some way, shape, or form we all can just come back and try again. Or, well, yeah, I guess try again, right? It's not necessarily the concept behind reincarnation, but sort of like obviously the whole thing is you don't really remember your past life or whatever, right? But maybe maybe when I die, I'll come back as a movie star or as a famous painter, or not even a famous painter, but maybe I'll be a starving artist, or maybe I'll just be super smart and I'll be a doctor or a tech guru, or maybe I'll just be another nobody like I am in this life. Maybe you don't get a second chance. Maybe there is no part two. Again, I guess you never really know, but there's so much to this world and so much that we don't understand as people, as humans, as anybody. There's so much that it's hard to define, or I guess it's hard to know. I don't know, that's not really the right way to word it either, but there's no answer, right? There's no answer, there's no guarantee, there's no, like, nobody can come and say, oh, well, yeah, actually, I've died 3 times and come back as a cat, a mouse, and a second human. Like, that just doesn't happen, you know? And so, kind of further into this reincarnation subject is there's not even a guarantee you would come back as a human. Like, what if I die and I come back as a worm? And my whole life is just eating dirt until some little kid thinks it's fun to pick me up and stretch me out like I used to do to worms when I was a little kid, you know? What if I come back as a mouse or a bird? I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd probably be ideal. If I was going to come back as anything, if I were to be reincarnated, I think the most obvious choice, like, let's be serious for a second here. I think if I could choose what I would come back as, I don't think it's hard to figure out what that might be. But I think the next best options would be like a human again. I think it'd be really neat if I could come back and live a different life, because there's so many avenues of life. There's so many ways that life can go, and so many ways life does go. I mean, so many ways life starts. Everybody has a different childhood than each other, even the ones that are roughly similar. can be so very different. So very, very different. There's so much. There's just so much. So I wonder, I wonder what I could be, who I could be, what I will be, if anything. If reincarnation is real, I wonder what I'll be. And again, if I had to pick, if not a human, if not a panda bear, living my life, munching on bamboo out in the forest of nowhere, struggling to survive because pandas are kind of dumb, but they're awesome. Anyway, I think a bird would be nice too. I think a bird would be a really good choice to make simply because I love the idea to just fly and go wherever. And I know that if you're thinking about the science of things, that's not really how birds work. They don't just go wherever. I mean, to an extent, but the whole migration patterns and fly home for this winter and or fly south for the winter and all that and jazz. Granted, that's not every bird. There's a lot of different types of birds out there. Like, I think it'd be awesome to be like a toucan or something, with those crazy colorful beaks and stuff. That'd be pretty sweet. There's a lot of birds out there. And forget the science for a minute and just think about what it would be like if you could just be a bird of any kind, whatever kind of bird. Maybe like I'd love to be like a parrot. That'd be another really cool one. One of those really pretty macaws, I think is what they're officially or technically called. That'd be awesome. 'Cause they're gorgeous. But just to be able to spread your wings and go where the wind takes you, I guess that's not necessary. That's more of like a sailboat, right? Than a bird, because a bird has control. Anyway, you get my point though. You get my point. And I'm not a I knew I could do it. I'm not a very wanderlust type of person or a very nomadic type of person. I want to be. It is a huge debate that I have with myself all the time. I hate this tied down kind of feeling that I've been just in general. That's just how it's been like all my life for a long time. Is I'm very tied down to one spot, and I wish I wasn't. I wish I could just hop in the car and just drive and just find where I belong. And I guess maybe I will one of these days. Maybe I'll just give it all up and I'll just hop in the car and I'll just go and I'll live like a bird and I'll just go where the wind takes me and spread my wings and find where I belong and forget everything else. I think that's what goal I'm working towards lately, is mustering up the courage to just disappear and just go wherever I please and find my way. Me, my dog, and whoever else tags along for the ride. Just go and just live for however long it takes to find whatever it is I'm searching for. Because I'm searching for something. Maybe it's answers, maybe it's I don't know. I don't know. But I'd like to spread my wings and fly away. I'd like to live a second life. I'd like to be given a second chance. I'd also like to see heaven if it's real. I'd like to go see my grandma again, my dogs, my cats, and my what other animals that I've come and lost, and my people that I've lost, my friends and my family members and everybody and everything. I'd like to see them all again at some point. I got pictures and memories, and that's good enough, but when it's all over, I'd like to be able to say hello again, or at the very least, some goodbyes that I never got the chance to, you know? I think it'd only be fair, right? But I guess if if that's not the case, I'd be happy to just forget and wake up in a new body as a new child, in a new life, in a new house, in a new everything, and just live differently, just a little differently, you know? I think that'd be pretty nice too. I think I think I don't really get a choice in the matter. I don't think anybody does. I think I guess that kind of depends on what you believe in still, right? If you believe in, is that a baby turtle? Oh my god, it's a pufferfish. Okay. Um, yeah, that wasn't a baby turtle. That definitely was not a baby turtle. Um, um, I'm gonna go scoop him up. Where'd he go? Think you can stab me and get away with it? I think not. You're getting scooped. Look at him. He's so small. You're getting scooped. Got him. All right. That was talk about an immersion break, man. I was really getting in my feels for a minute there, thinking about my grandma and stuff, just to get stabbed by a pufferfish. That's crazy. You're lucky I don't eat you. Anyways, I don't think anybody gets a choice in the matter, right? We all just do. We all are just here until we're not. We're all just trying our best until we can't anymore. And when it's over, I guess that's when we find out, right? You don't know until you're there, which kind of sucks, to be real. Really kind of sucks. I guess, would it be nice to know though? I thought I saw something in the water there, but I think it's just the sand. Would it be nice to know? Would it be nice to know that if there's something coming, like if somebody told me that I'm gonna die and the rest of my life or lack of will just be floating through a blank space, an empty oblivion, no thoughts, no people, no nothing, just empty. That'd be really disappointing. Like really, really disappointing. I guess in some ways that would kind of make me want to kick my life into gear, and I would have to say, well, if there's nothing at the end, then I got to make everything out of what I have now, you know? And I mean, I think that's how you should live anyways in general, without knowing that there's something or not at the end. You should live your life like there's nothing coming after. You should just live. You should just do what you want to do and do what makes you happy. Do what makes your life feel the most fulfilled. And I'm not very good at doing that. I'm way lost. What the? Where am I? Um, I'm not good at doing that, personally speaking. I'm not good at just living life. I wish. I wish I was better at just being able to shut down the logical side of my brain that tells me all of the intricacies and problems and just shuts down my ideas. You know, when I come up with this whole I'm gonna hop in the car and drive away and stop in the first city that looks pretty, my brain comes in and says, yeah, but what about your job? And what about your dog? And what about your family? And like just ruins the whole concept every time. And so hopefully me and my brain can work together one of these days and we'll figure something out, you know. That's a blue creeper. That's pretty cute. Okay. I like this texture pack. I haven't really seen them. Maybe it's because we're in the ocean. Okay, I wasn't that far off from my home, I think. But it's definitely not to the left. It can't be. Because that's all Gotta be this way. It's gotta be this way. We'll figure it out. I don't know. I really was hoping to get back home before, we're so close. We're so close. I feel like I recognize this island. But yet, for some reason, I'm, struggling here. Getting lost. Getting very, very, very easily lost. Making me very, very sidetracked. But anyway, live your life like there is no ending. Live your life as if, I don't know. I don't want to like repeat the same kind of advice that I've heard. You know, like live your life like it's your last day, or live every day like it's your last day. Like I want to, you know, have something of my own here, like my, I don't know, but just try not to care so much. I guess is if I could drill that into my own brain, just try not to care so much. What does it matter? You know, we're all gonna die, and nobody knows what happens then. So who cares? Just live. Do what makes you happy. Do what you want to do. I think is this a second shipwreck? So I'm definitely going the wrong direction then. Like, this is a completely different shipwreck in a completely different jungle, probably. This is like, this isn't even a wreck. Oh, oh, oh. Right. Okay. I spoke a little too soon. Just a little too soon. Now where am I? I don't even see myself on the map anymore. Where did I go? Excuse me. Well, that's not helpful. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're just lost. Holy. 15 emeralds? That seems abnormal. Interesting. Nope. Nope. Treasure map? I thought treasure maps were like supposed to be guaranteed or something. But I don't know very much about Minecraft anymore. I like to think that I'm smart, especially when it comes to Minecraft, but honestly, I really got no clue. Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap this up here in the middle of the ocean because I can't seem to find my house. But we'll just keep boating while I, oh, we're back on the map. Okay, so this must be the right direction then. It's gotta be this way. I really hope. I really hate getting so lost. Oh, look at the turtle. How cute. One of these days, I'm gonna make an enchanting table and come steal some turtle eggs. See, that's the stuff I do know. I know the important parts of Minecraft. I know how to breed pandas. I know how to breed turtles. I know you gotta protect their eggs. And, like, the important stuff, you know? Is this? I see a light, and I can't tell if it's the temple or if it's just a little monument thing. I see Prismarine, which tells me that's the temple. I've seen that before. I've been here before. A long, long time ago. I remember this place. Wait, what the hell is... That's not jungle. It's not jungle at all. That's a savanna. Whatever they call that biome. Yeah, I'm really lost. I'm really in the middle of nowhere right now. Getting rain, like it always has to rain on me in these episodes too. I really should just use my Minecraft cheats. My not really. I mean, it's just turning the weather off. Really, is it that bad of a cheat? You know, but like, I don't know. I don't know. My keyboard's loud and stuff, so I try not to type as much as I can. But I think we're maybe headed in the right direction once and for all. I'm not entirely sure how I ended up out here. Wasn't really trying to go very far. I wanted to go collect some dirt, from a place that wasn't gonna like ruin my landscape, and then I end up lost. So what's new, I guess, but no, we gotta be close. I believe it. I believe it. Because I'm pretty sure I've seen that parrot many times. Yep, I see the torches. We made it. So I guess I'm not wrapping up the video then. I'm gonna go drop off this stuff, and then we'll wrap it up, which is whatever. I know the ending of this video has nothing to do with the rest of this video, but that's what you're here for, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what you're here for. I'm here to, whoops. Too many buttons at once. Okay. Anyway, like I said, live your life like there's nothing at the end of it. Live freely and happily, and just don't worry so much about other people. He can't kill other fish, can he? Like, he's not gonna murder all my other fish in here. Somebody will let me know down in the comments, I think. There's a lot more smart people down there than there is in this video. So, anywho, thanks for listening, / watching, / being here. Oh my, I just had a panic attack, dude. There's a creeper nearby. Okay, there's a creeper somewhere nearby. I know it because the parrot just hissed at me, and I did not appreciate it. Did not. If you touch anything, sir, we're gonna have problems. I should just kill him, but I like Enderman. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm just talking to talk at this point. So I'm gonna actually go now. Thank you, like I said, so much. Thank you for being here and listening and watching if you did, listen if you do. Just thank you. Thank you. Truly, genuinely, thank you so much. So much. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've had a good day today. First of all, that's my first hope. My first hope is that you had a good day today. My second hope is that you enjoyed today's video. And I guess if I had to pick a third one, I hope that you go watch some more of my videos, because I make a lot of them, and some of them are pretty okay, to be honest. There's some pretty good ones in there somewhere. So, anywho, that's all from me. I'm gonna go. I'll see you in heaven or hell, or maybe I won't. Oh, I found him!